Hi, our next presenter is Tom Donhou of Donhou Cycles. Tom went on an epic journey across pretty much the whole of Asia, and the one thing he decided is that when he got back, he wanted to start building his own bicycles and frames. And now he's set up shop in Norwich to international acclaim, really. Tom.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom Donhou, Donhou Bicycles. I'm a custom frame builder. I build custom bicycle frames. Each one's bespoke and tailor-made to the customer to fit them perfectly in their sizing and also in the sort of needs and their sort of desires of the bike. Here's just to give you an idea of what I do. The sort of diversity. At the far end there's a green town bike. In the middle there's a sort of a fully geared road bike, super light, super fast, and then we have the near one here is just like a real cool sort of track bike based around a vintage group set. But I'll be talking more about them later. So basically, just give you a bit of a background, sort of how it all came about. I was working in Old Street, the product designer, designing perfume bottles for the high street, and my heart wasn't really in it. So I binned it all in, and me and my friend drove to Mongolia, and I stuck my bike in the back of the truck. With the intention of riding to Singapore. I'd always seen the point on the map and wanted to ride there. So this is me. We just got to Mongolia. I was then leaving Ulaanbaatar in the middle of Mongolia, about to go into the Gobi Desert. So this is me camped up on the steps just before I go into the desert. I got woken up by those horses in the morning. I thought horses only neighed. I didn't realise they grunted as well. I didn't know what the hell it was outside my tent. And yeah, basically, like, this is a railway line. This kind of acted as my lifeline through the desert. If I stuck to that, I wouldn't get lost. Like, I knew I was going in the right direction. If I got on a load of trouble, I could flag a train down. And also, the drainage ditches there acted as my shelter in the midday heat. So I spent a good couple of hours in there each day eating tuna and drinking water. This is me two weeks into the desert. I'm now at the border of China. Dirty, stinking, I haven't washed for a while, and a sore ass. I don't know if you guys know about Brooks leather saddles, but you're supposed to break them in before you use them proper, and I didn't get around to breaking mine in before I rode off. So this is me down in Vietnam now. I've gone through China. I'm approaching the border of Laos. Basically, the whole time I've been riding, I've been thinking about, I've been redesigning the bike I was on, and thinking of these different ideas for bikes, and I've really basically got my heart set on starting my own bike company now. So at this point I sort of stopped zigzagging around and I was just making a beeline straight for Singapore. This is kind of an important one for me because these things would cut me up and spill coal dust on me all day long. And the Hino logo on the front of the truck is actually the inspiration for the Donhou logo. Yeah, and I'd see those things all day and they'd keep me awake all night. And then, yeah, like basically, I got to Singapore, and this is the last picture I took, me and my friend Rue, and it's 8,000 miles and 9 months, sort of in the saddle, and it took me a day to fly home. It's kind of a weird feeling when you put in so much work to get somewhere just to get home in a day. But when I got home, I kind of got involved straight away and flew straight into building frames. I invested in oxyacetylene setup, which allowed me to join the tubes together. And various tools that I needed to do that. This is the first frame I built, and I was so excited to get out and try it that I put it together without any paint and rode straight out into the rain. So it got a bit rusty to start with. It's now painted now. So yeah, I was going to tell you a bit about how the frames are built. I use a CAD program to sort of design the frames mainly and get the geometries correct, but it's always good to lay out the parts and get the components in your hand just to get a sense of proportion. So that's sort of what I'm doing there. And I also use Illustrator to sort of put some visuals together for customers so they can see exactly what they're getting, and it helps to work out sort of paint jobs and things like that. This is me cutting tubes now. I'm drilling a breather hole there, and that machine is also used to miter the tubes, so I make sure that the fit between the tubes is like perfect fit. It's really important to get a strong joint. And once you've done that, it all gets put into a frame jig, which holds all the tubes straight and true, so you get a true frame out of it. And then you go to braze and you're sticking the tubes together. So basically what I'm doing here is using brass. I'm just creating like a brass casting around the tubes, to join them together. It's kind of, in a way, just think of it as you're like hot gluing the frames to steel together. Once you've done that, you then got to clean all your brazes up so you get like a smooth, seamless finish once the paint's on. And it's all done by hand. So just hours of hand filing and hand sanding. You get through plenty of that emery roll there, and you manage to wear out your thumbs pretty quick too. Once you finish prepping the frame, you go into paint. This is me painting a frame. First the primer goes on. Paint's a really cool thing to do. I really enjoy it, but it can be really time consuming and frustrating sometimes. It can take hours just to mask up and apply the simplest of like lines. But once you get the coat of clear on the top and it all glosses up real nice, it's a cool feeling. So this is one of the bikes I built. This one actually won the best of show at the UK hand built show last year. It's for a customer, Hampus, a Swedish guy. He sort of came to me, oh, I want a bike to ride down the canal pass with my girlfriend, kind of thing. He was talking about how he used to ride his BMX with the coaster brake back in Sweden doing skids in the gravel track. So it's kind of an emotional nod to that. We fitted the coaster brake, and then we also fitted the belt drive on this one, which is kind of really, it's just a really good application for a town bike because you don't have to oil it, you don't have to look after it, you don't have to worry about getting trousers dirty. Outlast the chain never stretches. It's just kind of a fit and forget kind of deal. This one was a cool one. Friend Gav, his dad used to race track in the 60s with this group set, Campag record group set, and then Gav then raced it in his youth, racing grass track, and he had it laying around and we were like, we've got this sweet group set, let's build a bike out of it. So Gav put the hours in polishing and I put the hours in building the frame, and we came up with that one. This is another bike which is sort of important to me. I grew up racing mountain bikes cross country and downhill, and this was the first mountain bike I got to build. And this one's going off to race the Transpire, which is an 800-kilometre race from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic through the Pyrenees. It's a pretty die-hard race. And then this is basically sort of full circle now. That's one of my bikes I built for a friend Simon. That's him riding across the Nubian desert in Africa, and yeah, it's really cool to see your bikes out there. I sort of probably be eternally stoked on the fact that it's kind of the bikes that I'm building gives people the potential for those kinds of experiences. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.